the matters before the Senate shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Good evening, Honorable Caren.
Good evening.
For record purposes, kindly repeat your name. Tell us what you do for a living and where you come from.
My name is Caren Magara. I am a nominated MCA in the Kisii County Assembly, representing special interest.
So being a member of the County Assembly of Kisii, you are aware and familiar with the issue at hand, right?
Yes.
You are also the seconder in the motion for impeachment of the Deputy Governor, correct?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I want to cross-examine, rather to lead you on two issues. One is on the issue of public participation, and then briefly on your interaction with the witnesses in this matter. So on public participation, did you witness how public participation was conducted within Kisii County?
Honorable Madam Speaker, being a special elect, I had an opportunity not only to go to one ward, but to just do a sampling kind of exercise during the public participation. And indeed, it was a demonstration that what was going on, so many issues came up in that public participation. So I did witness the public participation, on Madam Speaker.
How did the public submit their views? In what form? Was it written? Was it memoranda? How were their views collected and submitted?
The public participation had various forms of giving their views. One, by participation in a group. Others opted to take secret recording because they felt some of their issues were personal. Some wrote a memoranda to the assembly through the clerk, and this was being done on 26th of that, which was on Monday.
Thank you. You've heard from the defense counsel alleged that some of those videos were cooked and that they were never recorded at the venue of the public participation. What would you say about that?
Madam Speaker, I want to emphasize the point that when we were at the public participation is being done, it may not necessarily find one person in the ward. Remember, we have different divisions. People can, public participation can be in Tabaka ward, but the person from Tabaka ward could be working in Nyamarambe, for example, which is in Bogetenga ward. So where they were being found was where they were giving their views. It was not restrained to the ward that you come from.
Thank you. The videos that were played today, did you have an occasion to witness any of those recordings being taken?
Some of them, yes, I did, Madam Speaker.
Can you point us to one of them that you had the occasion of being present when it was recorded?
One that was very touching was when I witnessed an old mzee talking about being told to sell a property of land worth 14 acres. And they had a transaction with the His Excellency, the Deputy Governor. And that in the midway, the transaction did not end well. And then the Deputy Governor was asking for a refund. Another one was an old woman, and not really an old woman, but a woman who clearly demonstrated that she is selling, she was selling, I think, motura. And she was asking, if I am selling motura and trying to educate my children, and when the children go through school, then the leaders are going to ask me for 800. Where am I going to raise the 800 from? That, Madam Speaker, touched me.
You've also had an allegation tabled by the defense team that the governor was involved through the use of sub-county admin and ward admin in the public participation process, what would your answer be?
That is absolutely not true. We have separation of powers. Madam Speaker, you are aware that even when we have public participation for the budget appropriation, the executive does its public participation and the assembly also does its public participation. This particular public participation was originated from the assembly. Madam Speaker, there is no way that the executive could have been allowed to carry this public participation. So it is not true.
And in instances where the event was to take place at the sub-county headquarters, isn't it natural that the sub-county admin would usher in the guest? Is that the position?
Yes, they could usher in, because mostly sometimes when it is done, Madam Speaker, in the headquarters, sometimes we allow, they are told to arrange for the public participation. The arrangement is bring the chairs, allow us to use this facility. Then when the public participation ends, that after they have organized where we are, the public participation is, if it is for the assembly, their engagement ends there.
Thank you. To my last limp of this questioning, did you have an opportunity to interact with the allegations in the notice of motion for impeachment and conduct your own investigations on the allegations? And if so, what was the nature of your interaction with?
Yes, Madam Speaker, I had an opportunity to engage and do my own investigations. This is after the Honorable Siocha requested me to second the motion. And voluntarily, because I represent special interest, I decided first of all to familiarize myself with the issues. Is it true that what they are saying is correct? So I went ahead and requested the number of Dennis from Honorable Siocha, and I requested him to be in the company of the wife, because I did not want to talk to Dennis alone. They made arrangements and we did meet in town, and they took me through the process of how they struggled to raise this money. And what pained me, Madam Speaker, is that the lady was expectant after struggling for 12 years. Madam Speaker, I'm a woman. I know sometimes what women go through, particularly when you cannot conceive and give children. And the lady sat, Nyaboke sat, narrating how they had even to separate shortly with the husband because she couldn't contain whatever that she was going through. This gave me a motivation, and I thought to myself, being a woman, representing youth, representing people living with disability, I had to rise to the occasion. And I said, I am truly going to take it upon myself to second this motion. Whatever that Dennis went through with the wife, I am standing here as a woman, Madam Speaker, painfully explaining an MCA earns 86,000. And I ask myself, as MCAs were struggling to take our children to school, then somebody asked me to give 800,000. How long, Madam Speaker, will I save to give a bribe of 800,000? That, for me, touched me. Even when I was contributing to this motion in the House, Honorable Madam Speaker, I said I don't want to talk about the law. I want to speak to the morals. Where is our society now, Honorable Madam Speaker? I earn 86,000. Somebody tells me to give 800,000. From where? That pained me, Madam Speaker. And I did voluntarily walk. Promised to walk with them this journey. That justice must be served to this Nyaboke. Justice must be served to Dennis. That is my conviction, and that is why patiently I stand in this Senate wanting to convince.
What's your point of order, Senator Karungo?